First of all, Patrice, I almost brought Bill Burr to a hockey game, but it didn't work out because his Bruins were playing my Islanders last night, so I gave him the heads up. I was hoping to bring him to that horrible arena, the fucking Coliseum.
I like that place.
So we were talking about hockey a little bit, and then Patrice had to pipe in and just say hockey sucks.
Yeah,
Patrice just not a fan of hockey at all.
One thing I do, I try to have a small bit of knowledge about something to say something.
And I'm scared to even bring it up because you're the type of guy that probably would be able to convince me that hockey sucks. You're that strong with your opinion.
It's not a popular game.
We're going to leave here and go, you know what? Why do I
it's
follow
not a
hockey?
popular game.
It's just not a popular game.
It's kind of popular.
No one cares.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No
it isn't
cares.
popular. You go up into Canada, and it's like the fucking second coming of Christ, but nobody knows.
It's on money up there.
What's going on?
It cracks me up. You go to Canada, you turn around some of their bills, and there's like a hockey game going on.
It's the same soccer argument.
Money.
No, we know 40 billion people. We know
not
everybody on the planet Earth loves soccer.
Right.
Not America.
No.
That's it. It is what it is. I mean, why argue?
Hockey needs to do a couple things if you want to get into it.
Let's make hockey popular. Let's figure
I can do it right now. Hockey needs they need to accept the fact that they're a rogue sport. For the last 30 years,
You're not baseball.
All they've done is try to appease people who aren't going to continue to not watch hockey. No true hockey fan ever had a problem with the fights, never had a problem with the barbaric, never had a problem that there was
That's it.
two. I love people that go, there's 2 halftimes. Like, mathematically, that even makes sense. It's just like, you're fucking retards. You don't get the game. You've never been to a game live. It's the worst game to watch on TV. You have to watch, like, 5 feet to the left of your TV screen to figure out what isn't even being televised, that there's a line change. People are like, why did he just dump the puck and just stop? Because, believe it or not, skating at full speed for 90 seconds, you get a little winded.
Yeah, you're exhausted.
And you need some other guy. Like, people just, they don't get it. Why do they let him
fucking
fight?
amazing.
What Bill is saying, they dump the puck so they can fucking change the players out.
That is fucking great.
You just nailed it.
It's like somebody who never boxed before and go, this guy's a pussy. It's like, dude, just stand and throw punches at air for 20 seconds and see how tired you are.
Fucking huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
Just to go with your point, too, they've been trying to make it, family friendly, too. Stop.
With the mascots and those ice whores skating out to clear off the ice.
Well,
it's horrific.
Yeah, but they could have those outfits a little fucking skimpier, trust me. But when I was growing up, when I was growing up, though, I was a little kid enjoying the fighting. It didn't bother me. So why all of a sudden we have to,
But that's everything, though. You got to be fair.
No, we don't have to be fair because
why are they letting everything be like this, though? Why is rated R so fucking horrible nowadays?
But just focusing on his point, if they accept they're a rogue sport, you're going to keep the people you got. There's people that are leaving the sport because they're like, this is not what I want in my hockey.
So they're not bringing in. What did they change?
They're not bringing in enough people, and some of the old school guys are leaving because they're like,
this is what they did.
Other than fighting, what's different?
This is what they did. This is what they did.
You can't touch the goalie when he fucking leaves the crease. That used to be scary as shit for these goalies.
This is what killed them. It was the combination of those Canadian teams coming down south, and then they added like 5 teams down south, like in Tampa, Florida, Nashville, Phoenix, and then you had regular teams that you knew what they looked like. They all changed their uniforms drastically. Like the Sabres went from like blue and gold to black and red and white. And it looked like you were watching the IHL, that whole era. It was terrible. And then you also had the left wing lock, the clutch and grab you. There was a 10-year brutal fucking period. Not to mention the NHL always makes brilliant moves like, well, we have a deal with ESPN, but the USA Network offered us more money. Let's go to that one.
Versus here in New York.
Yeah, they do that type of shit.
I don't even know where Versus is, and I like hockey.
Hockey gets the same coverage as high school women's golf.
No, it's and I can't even argue it.
It fucking
and they have other things. Like NBA is one of the greatest games ever hyped, and the last 3 minutes takes like 58 minutes to timeout, foul, timeout, TV timeout. And like that whole game ends with people like taking unguarded shots. Like watching the Lakers-Celtics championship last year, where I watched the Lakers win a championship from the fucking foul line. Where one they call like 38 fouls to 17 on the other because the ref doesn't like Rashid and has like these personal grudges. Like the NBA is fucking. I think the NBA
is hinged on right there.
I think the NBA is absolutely filthy. It's fixed. He's not.
He's not
Dude,
off
they had a ref with mob ties.
He's not
busted.
off on this.
And don't you think if you were on that officiating crew, you'd notice, like, gee, Mark's calling it kind of close tonight. Gee, he's really letting them play. Like you wouldn't be able to pick up on it.
Don't look at me, 'cause I'm not going to jump in. I fucking it makes me sick.
The NBA loves big market teams being in the finals, and it seems to happen every year.
I don't think they should have anything where there's 8-foot niggas controlled by 4 feet white guy. It can't be fair, and that's how I feel about it.
Not since 1865.
I can't. At least I'm just saying, somebody who's not intimidated. Because Rasheed Wallace, as we said, Rasheed Wallace's mother said, "My baby is 6'11", and he's mean." But he's not a horrible person. These guys don't know how to deal with him. They're scared of him. And I understand that. What's his name with the bowling ball shoulders? Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He got a great smile, but physically this motherfucker's King Kong, man. And it's a scary guy. But here's the reason I'm not into basketball anymore. I was a basketball.
You were a big basketball guy.
I'm a basketball in my blood, but I'm not. It's not like it used to be. I loved basketball, but what happened is guys coming out of high school ruined it for me, because I used to follow guys coming from high school, then they play 4 years of college,
play a little college,
then it's like a story,
right?
And I just stopped caring. Like now, it's a freshman. You get a great freshman. He comes into college and
the neck tattoos did it for me.
Neck tattoos.
That kind of turned me, because we thought about it one day, and I'm like, when did I stop following basketball? And I said, you know what? I think when they introduced the neck tattoo, for some reason, I just couldn't relate to these guys at all anymore.
I also don't like when you dunk a ball and then you stand at baseline going, "Ah!" and thumping your fucking chest like you just ripped down a building. It's just so fucking, like, the worst one ever was Pau Gasol when he was a complete pussy in 2007. They actually drew a cartoon of him as the Tin Man, like he had no heart. It was fucking hilarious. And then, like, the next year in, like, December, he decides to show up. After choking in the finals, he dunks a couple of times, right? And then he starts thumping his chest. It's like, dude, it's a game in December.
Yeah, let's relax.
I can't.
It's not May yet.
Wow.
Yeah,
all of that. That's another reason why I like hockey, is if you do something like that, someone will beat the shit out of you. And all they have to do is sit down for 5 minutes. It's like, I find hockey, there's a justice to it.
Right.
Where the cunts get what's coming to them.
And they all understand each other. Like, the refs know these guys got to fight, and they make sure it's a fair fight, unless it's the Penguins and the Islanders like last week.
Or a guy like Matt Cook.
Matt Cook is the dirtiest player in the league, and Mario Lemieux is just yipping.
He always bitched when he played. It keeps up like this, I'm going to retire.
Well, that's what he said recently.
I'm going to take my stick and go home.
Someone in the paper today said, does he even play his own fucking video game, where you could blow off the hockey part of the Mario Lemieux hockey game and go right to the fighting?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
And you get more points if you punch the guy in the head in the video game.
And he's crying about it.
Yeah, give me the paper.
And the Penguins have had some of the most filthiest people in history. This is the brilliance of that franchise. I was saying this during the break, is not only can they spot the Crosby before anybody else, but they signed the Ulf Samuelsson, Matt Cook, I'm going to blow out your fucking leg, so they don't have to worry about their stars going down.
Sure.
Dude, that Matt Cook dude is filthy.
He's dirty. Listen.
Filthy.
So Mario bitched about the Islanders and Penguins game. If you're a sports fan, you understand that, okay? So Phil Mushnick, who I'm not really a fan of,
but he's such a ray of sunshine.
Yeah, he certainly is. The guy hates sports. We say this every time. So why is he writing about it? Why don't you go find another fucking thing to write about? He goes, funny thing though, one day the kids in the neighborhood dumped the Mario Brothers video games for Mario Lemieux hockey. Just one look, they love that video game. Not that they all were hockey fans. Okay. As a sideshow, Mario Lemieux hockey had a fighting mode. The kids could skip the hockey, click straight to the fighting mode. The Mario Lemieux video game even scored the fights knockout punches to players' heads worth the most. with the head worth the most.
Figures.
Yeah, so there you go.
Good old Phil Mushnick.
As long as he took a few bucks for putting his name on that game.
Didn't the strike do something bad to hockey?
Yeah, that was awful.
It fucks up every sport.
Yeah, when you cancel an entire season and people aren't watching already, that kind of affects it.
But I didn't.
Tonight, Tampa versus Nashville.
when they were striking though, that it was so big it hit my ear. Meaning the news of it.
Right.
Like I didn't pay attention to hockey, but I knew it wasn't a bad. I knew it more.
It got more.
Put it this way.
It wasn't on.
I fucking knew more names than Ovechkin and Crosby or whatever.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby. hockey was in the conversation.
Yeah.
And then that fucking strike happened.
Well,
and I'd never heard of hockey again.
Someone is saying the ratings have gone up every year since the lockout for the NHL. I'm not sure if that's true.
I think the hockey
is that true?
Hockey is actually great right now, but there were certain things like I don't like that they got rid of the red line. I thought they should
really. I love that
they should have just called it an illegal defense. With the left wing lock, you can't bring that forward up. He has to stay up in forecheck. Then you'd have those great rushes again. You'd have the 3-on-2s, the 2-on-1s, and then they just decided to get rid of it. And it's now trying to watch it on TV, you get like whiplash.
I felt like it just opened up the whole fucking game, though, man. These guys got way too quick and way too big to deal with that red line shit.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I have no idea.
I love that they changed that rule, but whatever. I know. What does it matter?
Hockey stinks.
You just hate hockey?
I don't hate hockey. No. Just
Did you see the Winter Classic?
that when they played outside
Yeah,
in
it's kind of
Pittsburgh.
cool.
Exactly.
Fucker, they played on
Did
the
you
moon.
see 24/7 on HBO?
I heard it was phenomenal.
The 24/7
but
on
it's-
HBO was great, man.
I'm sorry.
To see these
There's
guys.
no reason to apologize.
That's all right.
I'm just saying sorry because I like to be open to things. I like to be open to things that people love a lot. And I go, I try to watch. I used to, like I told you, I used to sell peanuts and popcorn at the garden. And I would go, please somebody tell me about hockey. And I learned there's offsides, there's certain things. And I think a lot of not liking a game is you don't know the rules.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know some of the rules of why this guy is shooting by himself against the goalie. Or why there's no goalie. Like, if you don't know, you go, the goalie's missing.
You know what's
So
great?
you just are lost. But if you know the game and strategy, any game is good.
The
if you
goalie
know
have to take a leak?
Yeah, where's the goalie?
You know what kills me is every 4 years when the Olympics come around, I pray that Al Michaels doesn't have to explain the entire game, and he always does.
Always.
That's offside. When a player without the puck goes over the blue line, that is called icing. Sometimes it is waved off. You're just going like, is it ever going to catch on?
The javelin is self-explanatory.
Imagine if every game they had to explain baseball.
Oh, God.
Instead of a ball, they use a puck.
Explain baseball to me. That's another sport. I don't give a shit. The baseball class, hey, they playing baseball in fucking Spain. It's just a boring game.
Not a fan of baseball as much as I used to be.
It just bores me to tears. And I know it's
slow for
talent.
me.
I know you got to be talented.
You know
too
what?
fucking
You know
slow.
what baseball is good for? It's better in these days than it was in the old days when you just had like. I remember going over to my grandparents' house and my grandfather would be sitting there watching the Mets with that big clicker that used to go like clang, clang, with 2 buttons on it, on, off, and volume, and he'd be sitting there watching the game, and it was boring as fuck. I'd be looking, going, what the fuck? He's just waiting to die over there. Now, though, there's so many other things to do while you're watching TV that it's cool. You could fucking play online poker. You fucking like cruising the
Do you
web.
realize this is a commercial for why baseball sucks?
Exactly.
I thought you were going to go.
Right. No, you're right. But the thing is, it could be on in the background while you're doing other shit, and then you could look up and go, oh, look, a triple.
But why?
No.
But where's baseball getting all this money? Where's baseball getting all this money?
It's a
from?
huge sport to go out to.
That's
People
our
love
hockey.
Going to the fucking games. It's nice weather. It's outside. You're like fucking just going to a ball game. Which, by the way, unless you got really good seats, sucks ass. You don't see the replays. You don't fucking see shit.
But they took that out of the game because now these parks, it's like an amusement park. You know,
I know the stadiums
you hang out in your seats for 2 innings.
The
and
game's
like,
one thing.
let's check this place out.
Let's go.
We got a
to
water
fucking-
slide.
I'm gonna go to the Macy's down at the end of the fucking by the Memorial Park.
The new Yankee Stadium is the funniest one ever, where they have that guy behind glass carving up steaks
Yes.
that most people can't afford.
What about Yankee Stadium?
Fucking Morton's guy carving up steak.
What about Yankee?
Yeah, it's a baseball game. Your feet are supposed to be sticking to the floor as you're walking around.
I went to Yankee Stadium finally, and around the 4th inning, because I'm not a Yankee fan, I'm like, I want to check this place out. And my buddy goes, let's go to the museum. I'm like, they have a fucking the museum.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we'll get right in. It's the 5th inning, right? We go there. There's an hour wait for the museum. I'm like, how is there an hour wait for the
There's a
museum
game-
during a fucking game?
There's a game going
That's how
on.
baseball is.
Well, you know,
changed.
when you watch the Yankees games and you don't see anybody sitting around home plate, aside from the fact
I know that
that it's really expensive, when you get those seats, you can walk in, you can eat the whole game for free. Not for free. It comes with the price of the tickets.
Yeah.
So just pick a guy. Just see a guy sitting there. A couple innings will go by, and all of a sudden the guy isn't there, and you watch. He won't be there for like 3 innings. He's just stuffing his face with prime rib and all this shit, and then he finally comes back, and it looks so bad because this is like the biggest franchise in sports.
That's the shot.
And it always looks like they have like 18 people at the park.
Yeah, because that's the only part of the park they show.
Dude, I had those seats one time. Somebody gave me a hookup, and I chowed. I chowed, and I gave the finger to somebody at home when they called me on my cell phone. I wasn't even watching the game, dude. It was ridiculous.
And you got to get your money's worth.
Shit.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you got to eat your money's worth.
But this is why football is
Football's
king.
king.
Football's
It's
king.
just king.
Not even going to argue with that.
It's once a
I still
week,
love the football.
if that. It's
Every
only
game
a couple
counts.
of months.
Every
It's
game
like,
counts.
Every game counts. It's fucking, it could be a career ender for anyone at any moment.
4 games, like
No, every game.
12 and 4,
counts.
11 and 5 is possible. You can miss the playoffs.
Yeah, but if you're
so
2
there's
games
5
back,
games.
Right.
if you're 2 games back is like being like 9 games down in baseball.
Right.
But the only
Because
problem with
baseball has 179,000 games.
And I love that they're playing 2 games in one day. Baseball. It's like,
That's why
doubleheader.
and that's why it's funny that people actually gamble on sports where they have the dog days of summer or like NBA hoop. You can tell when somebody has like some pussy in town. They just drag an ass or they're thinking about it, and you just like you can't bet. Like a buddy of mine was betting the other night. He's like, oh, the Heat are playing the Pacers, man. He goes, I'm telling you, this is a gift. And I go, I don't know, man. Indiana, it's a boring town. You have they might just say fuck it. This is game number 78.
Sleep or
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no motivation.
But football,
when it's
you
game
got to
78.
But you can't lack in football because somebody will paralyze you.
Someone fucking kill you.
But the other side of football, my Jets, we had a big time run, and I don't want to start over next year.
You know what's funny? Did you
every game had
Wait,
such
promises,
you get one
by
shot.
the way.
Huh?
He's doing the I promise
I know,
you.
I know, but-
Like, enough of you
But when
now,
your team,
Rex.
Yeah.
when your team almost makes it and you don't make the Super Bowl, you get this feeling of I don't want to start all over. Where every game.
Did you hear what he said? He said, this is what he said after a year of talking shit and never owning up to it.
Yeah.
He goes,
That's why I love him, by the way.
He goes, last year, they just talked to him like a week ago. He goes, last year, I thought we were going to win a Super Bowl. This year, I know it.
Oh,
it's like, what are you going to say after next year? This year, I really, really know it. It's like, he's one of those guys who just calls it. You know that guy? That guy likes to be the, dude, I called it. Mm-hmm. They call it every night. Dude, I'm telling you, blowout. I'm telling you, blowout. And then one night it finally happens. What'd I say?
I told you.
What'd I say?
See, I've been saying it.
They're fucked. There's a
football is
salary cap this
perfection,
year.
man.
They're done.
Yeah.
Football's
Yeah,
great.
he's
Only
done.
thing I don't
He's gonna
like
eat his
is
way.
Goodell. I'm not a fan of his. There's something elitist about him. He bugs me. And he's and this fake
Confidence.
players don't want to be hurt thing. Like it's stop playing. There's something else going on.
Yeah.
Just stop your horse shit. Just let them, like guys like James Harrison, just let them die. Let them be warriors. And that's the only thing. But football is so fucking perfect, man.
What
Perfect game.
What about your Celtics, though, man?
What about them?
I used to be a big Celtics fan. The Black Celtics.
I love the Celtics. I'm happy that they're relevant.
You made us all start calling them the Black Celtics and everything.
Yeah, because they are. And I know
but you know what?
Boston. I know the pain and suffering of these white people watching these niggas
They
run around
don't see
winning.
that.
I fucking enjoy it.
With their shamrocks on their back
You
and their little fucking
all these people from the movies The
Celtic-
Town.
yeah.
They're sitting there, fucking Kevin Garnett. Fucking sicken me.
I like the town. I like the town.
I mean, you know what's funny? They look at him the same way they always did. It's not like they didn't notice in like the 80s when it was a bunch of white people. They were still probably, fucking Dennis Johnson, Joe.
Johnson.
Freckle face
you know
fuck. Just give it to Larry.
I don't
the
think
fuck
it
kid.
was as bad when Larry was the face. Like if Luke Herringody became the face, it would be Luke and the fucking Bobettes back there. Doo-ba-dee-doo. Like Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli and the ink spots. And because I know Boston. It's painful.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they love winning. But it's painful. But I'm telling you, that's why the Patriots are so beloved. I love the Patriots. That's the one thing I can't get out of my system in terms of Boston.
Yeah.
Is the sports and the food. Two things. Sports and the food. I love Boston food, and Boston sports.
What's Boston known for, food-wise?
Nothing, but it's the best
You scared
food.
me.
It's the best food of anything. I put Boston anything up against anything.
I lived there for years.
Yeah.
I can't think what they eat traditionally.
The
you got
chowder.
Philly's, the cheesesteaks. Oh yeah, the chowder.
But Boston
fucking
doesn't
poo-poo
want anything.
platter, kid. Get a fucking scorpion bowl with the chicken fingers.
Boston Chinese food
Bill
is
and Bob's roast beef.
tremendous.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
It really is. They don't fuck around.
Yep.
It's tremendous. But the Black Celtics, I love them. I'm just saying the season is pathetic.
Yeah.
It's just.
What did Russell win? Like 10 or 11 championships?
11.
And they still hate him. What does this guy have to do?
I mean, I think all those people died off. The people that shot at him when he was going, he was winning championships, and they still shot at his house with him.
Back when he was winning the championships, they really didn't have an open mind, man.
Good fucking call, Bill.
To work for you, Bob Cousy.
You wouldn't be able to score now if you didn't pass it to you.
How bad do you think you want to be traded? But they didn't trade many players back then. You pretty much played for one team when Russell was playing.
Well, his story
not
is
a lot of trading going on.
No, before free
Red
agency
helped
was
him a lot.
ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
In baseball, basically, if you were in the Yankees organization and you were a shortstop and they had Derek Jeter, you were fucked.
Right.
You couldn't leave. You just played your career in the minors.
Yeah,
God,
even
yeah.
though you knew you were good enough to play on any
And
other team.
contracts after your
Remember all that
contract.
shit?
You're gonna have to get out of that seat.
You felt like you knew the players because year after year after fucking year, you saw
Yeah.
the same faces.
And Bill Russell he's just an ornery old coot now.